According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, 1 in 5 adults in the US struggle with mental illness in a given year. The prevalence of mental health issues is undeniable. If you don't struggle, then someone you love does. The stigma that surrounds mental health issues makes it difficult for people to get the help that they need and deserve. I have personally struggled with my mental health issues for as long as I can remember. I was 7 when it became clear that I needed real help. I have spent much of my almost 30 years unhappy, feeling like life was something to get through for other people. I was heavily medicated for 20 years in an attempt to make things better. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. This speech is about my journey with my mental health. I struggled with mental illness as a child, and it made it difficult for me to adapt later in life. After being unhappy and medicated for most of my life, I decided to take things into my own hands. As a result, I was able to learn to live with my mental illness and even appreciate the person that it makes me. Struggling with mental illness in childhood set up expectations for my life that have been hard to adapt to as an adult. People would tell me things about my life and myself, and I would believe them. My behaviors and feelings were sometimes dismissed as being dramatic. What wasn't dismissed was medicated. That's the way things were done in the 90s. When I was a child and I started therapy and medication, it seemed like it was going to be an easy fix. Take these meds, talk about your feelings, one day you'll be a normal adult. This left me feeling different and broken, but I really didn't have any other choices. Besides, I was going to outgrow this one day. Well, I became an adult and I was still struggling. The reality that I would never exist without my mental illness was devastating. I was tired of being unhappy. What I was doing was not working. I did not want to continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. I had been on medication for so long that I no longer knew who I was, and I decided to go off of it. It was the best decision I ever made. That was when I learned to live with my mental illness and stopped trying to change myself. I began in little ways, paying attention to what affected my mental health the most. Eating well, sleeping better, being active, and spending time outside are all things that drastically improve my mood. I have been unmedicated and managed for almost 4 years now. I used to think that my mental illness was something to hide and overcome. Now I see that living with my mental illness allows me to be my very best version of myself. I see things differently, and that allows me to provide a unique perspective. My depression allows me to be empathetic to others' struggles and has given me a deep gratitude for life. My anxiety allows me to be good at my job because I can efficiently handle stressful situations and manage risk. My ADD means that I'm creative and I can multitask in ways that others cannot. I still struggle, but now I'm comfortable with the idea that struggle builds character and makes me the person that I am. It has become important to me to be an example of making mental health issues work. I even have a tattoo that shows that I'm comfortable talking about how it has impacted my life. More people need to talk about what it's like to live with mental health issues because it is so common. Conversation is an important way to relate and normalize. It can take a lifetime to learn how to make living with a mental illness work for you, and the stigmas only make it more difficult. I am fortunate to have a great support system and that I was able to take charge of my life. Without my mental illness, I would be a completely different person. It has given me a deeper love for myself and a greater appreciation for humanity. I am grateful that I have been able to shift my perception on mental illness and hope to continue to break down the stigmas surrounding it. You just never know what is going on in someone else's life, but everyone deserves kindness and empathy. Thank you.
Very